Will you feel super after watching Supergirl? Will watching Jackass Best and Last make you feel like well, you know. Would watching Scott Eastwood and Lucky Strike make you feel lucky?
Well, punk, would it?
Get it? What is this weekend's Retro Reel review? And to which of the three movies I just mentioned does it relate? These questions and many others will be answered this weekend at the movies. Supergirl stars Millie Alcock. See you, girl. Marbly, coming to play. Supergirl stars Millie Alcock as Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, and David Cornsweet reprises his role as Superman, Kara's cousin, who is concerned about her trouble adjusting to life on Earth. Lately, Kara has been anywhere but, celebrating her birthday and drinking a lot, almost as if she's trying to run away from something or dead in some pain. I see you, girl. Marbly wants to come say hi. There she is. Sweet girl. Okay, Papa's got to do some reviews now, okay? You can sit and watch if you want. Love you. Sweet girl. In one of her bars on an unnamed planet, she meets a teenage girl named Ruthie. Ruthie? Oh my God, that's terrible. In one of her bars on an unnamed planet, Kara meets a teenage girl named Ruthie, Eve Ridley, who is looking for help avenging the death of her family. The villain in question is the heartless and evil Krem, played by Belgian actor Matthias Schoenaerts. When Krem does Kara an injury, no spoilers, but this is a hint, she decides to help track Krem down and allows Ruthie to accompany her, eventually also getting help from a bounty hunter named Lobo, played by Jason Momoa. As they pursue Krem across the galaxy, Kara starts confiding in Ruthie about her past, making this movie part planet-hopping action-adventure and part Supergirl origin story. Supergirl represents an unusual approach to a superhero movie. For one thing, the movie feels like a big mashup that's part Superman, part Star Wars, part John Wick, and part Handmaid's Tale. If you see the movie, you'll understand what I mean. Also, the flashback scenes contain the origin story rather than telling that story at the beginning of the movie. And 99% of the movie takes place, in the film's phrase, off-planet. Now, the flashback scenes towards the end do shed light on why Kara was so sullen and self-centered early in the film. But having almost all of the movie. Hi, Pepper, you're back. Having almost none of the movie take place on Earth means that we never get the chance to see how this child of Krypton interacts with the human population and uses her superpowers among them, which is kind of the point of a super anyone movie. It's a creative choice that just didn't work for me. I also had a problem with the movie's many plot holes, more and bigger than in most movies, with the head-scratching choices that some of the characters make, and with the creative choices on how some of the characters are played. Having said all that, the visuals and action in the climactic scene are pretty satisfying. This could have been a very good sci-fi movie under a different title. It's just that it didn't work well as a Supergirl movie. I give Supergirl 2 claps out of 5. I say skip it. Marbly, be careful up there. Lucky Strike. Hey, Marbly, get off my movie poster. Be careful up there. Lucky Strike takes place during the Battle of the Bulge, but it's a different kind of World War II movie. Rather than portraying a squad of soldiers on a dangerous mission, as in 1998 Saving Private Ryan, or showing an epic battle like 2019's Midway or, well, 1965's Battle of the Bulge. It just follows one man who is alone through most of the movie and is just trying to survive. Scott Eastwood plays Army Captain Jack Castle, who is ordered on a crucial but dangerous mission by his commander, Colin Hanks. When a unit of especially ruthless German troops spoil a perfectly good mission, Castle finds himself wounded, alone, almost 20 miles behind enemy lines, and unable to get help. As he tries to make his way to the care and safety of the nearest field hospital, he encounters Belgian civilians, more nasty Nazis, and a few American troops, one of whom is not quite what he seems. Also, Anjanou Ellis-Taylor appears in scenes at the very beginning and very end of the movie, but I don't want to tell you about those scenes because the first one kind of spoils the ending of its own movie, and I don't want to be a part of any spoilers. Lucky Strike is good, but it could have been better. It's an engaging story of heroism and survival in the closing days of World War II, but is just disjointed enough to feel a little less than consequential. The movie's title refers to a specific brand of cigarettes that used to be part of a GI's basic rations, and which play an important role in the outcome of this movie, along with a specific kind of troop radio, which I guess was especially reliable. I mean, these items just seem kind of odd and random to help form the framework of a movie and drive its plot. And Scott Eastwood, looking in this movie and sounding more like his famous father than I ever remember seeing him before, almost distractingly so, gives a solid performance, but almost feels a little too pretty and a little lacking in the gravitas needed for such a role. But this movie did show aspects of fighting in World War II of which I had been unaware, even with all of the movies I've seen about that war, and its creative approach to telling the story of American soldiers in that war held my attention. I liked Lucky Strike. I just wish I liked it a little more. I give the movie 3 claps out of 5. No need to run to the theater necessarily, but maybe stream it. Stay tuned after this last review of this weekend's big new releases for my take on a Jackass spin-off from the past. But first, let's deal with the most recent Jackass. Jackass Best and Last is the 5th and final main installment of the Jackass film series, not counting the spin-offs. Most of the original Jackass cast is here for this film, along with the few who were added in the previous film. This movie combines classic Jackass stunts with brand new material, behind the scenes and during the scenes commentary by the cast and crew, and some never-before-seen footage. The movie contains the usual mixture of dangerous stunts, risky but fun pranks, and gross-out gags, with the closest thing to a storyline being that this is the last Jackass movie, and for the cast and crew, and especially for Knoxville, represents a somewhat emotional end of an era. Jackass Best and Last is not my idea of quality entertainment. Although I can appreciate at least some of the Jackass humor, like in 2013's Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa, I saw the scenes in this movie to be unnecessarily crude, pointless, and basically unfunny. The presentation is mostly random, partly by design, sprinkling in quick clips from previous Jackass excursions throughout the movie, and partly because these scenes really don't have anything to do with each other, their point being to make the rest of the cast laugh and hopefully some movie fans. The end of an era motif did help, but is about as much of a narrative thread as the amount of clothes that some of the cast members wear in some of their scenes. When I look at this movie, I see a collection of irresponsibly dangerous stunts, way too disgusting setups, and very little in terms of actual entertainment value. However, I do have to give Knoxville and company credit for the creativity involved in thinking up all this stuff and for their ability to pull it all off. I appreciated the pranks more than the stunts, and I have to admit to letting out an occasional chuckle and smiling more than I realized I would throughout the movie. I'm happy that this first straight Jackass movie I saw was at least nominally the best and the last. In the final analysis, the best that I can do for Jackass, best and last, is 2 claps out of 5, advising the average movie fan to just skip it. Hey, look everybody, Marbly came to visit. She loves watching humans do stupid things to each other. Welcome to this weekend's Retro Reel review. You've heard what I had to say about Jackass Best and Last. Now I'm going to take a look back to one of Johnny Knoxville's earlier feature films. 2013's Bad Grandpa is a spin-off of a spin-off. Johnny Knoxville and his band of merry masochists earned a following torturing themselves and each other in their 2000 to 2002 MTV series Jackass. When that ended, they began making feature films highlighting their dangerous stunts, pranks, and gross-out gags, and sometimes interacting with unsuspecting, ordinary people, getting a lot of humor out of their reactions. A character they created to set up some of their jokes was Irving Zisman. In this movie, after 3 hours a day in a makeup chair, Knoxville becomes the 86-year-old man whose wife has just died, whose daughter is about to go to jail, and whose responsibility it now is to drive his grandson Billy, Jackson Nickel, from Nebraska to North Carolina so he can live with his father. Along this road trip, Irving and Billy interact with ordinary people in extraordinary ways, get themselves into some highly unusual and hilarious situations, and we're laughing the whole time. Oh, and if you like Bad Grandpa, you may want to check out Bad Grandpa .5, released less than 2 months after its namesake. It's part behind-the-scenes documentary and part extension of Bad Grandpa, featuring gags that didn't make the original cut. Bad Grandpa is part Jackass and part Borat. Most of the people with whom Irving and Billy interact are real people, not actors, so their genuine actions and reactions are captured by the hidden cameras, and the people have no idea this is all a setup until it's all over. Then those who decide not to sign release forms get their faces blurred out. This movie has 2 things that most of the other Jackass properties lack: a plot and actual humor. This is a very funny movie. The plot gives a necessary structure to the humor, and the gags are rarely as disgusting, painful-looking, or cringe-inducing as in the other iterations of Jackass. Some of the gags fall flat, and some parents may think the gags go too far, especially those involving the little boy. But I found Bad Grandpa to be every bit as funny as the trailer led me to believe it would be for a change, and much more entertaining than any of Knoxville's other efforts, including Jackass Best and Last. You've been watching This Weekend at the Movies. Click on my logo on your screen so you don't miss any of my honest, spoiler-free, quick turnaround reviews of the newest movies in theaters in time for you to decide whether to see them opening weekend. You'll also get my retro reel reviews of the best movies from years past, always with some connection to that weekend's new movies. And please like and comment. I love hearing from my fellow movie fans and exchanging thoughts and ideas. My name is Dave McLean. Thank you very much for your time and attention.